Hey guys, so I'm going to do a tutorial and explanation on this 0.6 that I released a couple days ago that I made with Tele, this unseamless 0.65x5, and this one. The one that I have was 780 blocks. I'm just going to quickly show off the material list over here. And a couple notes: any kind of concrete pattern can be replaced with sand or gravel. Any sort of solid blocks, like light blue concrete and whatever, can be replaced with any block of your choice that is solid. Any sort of half solid blocks, like semi-solids, like glass or slabs, can be replaced with any other semi-solid of your choice. Obsidians can be replaced with any immovable object. Activator rails can be replaced with powered rails. And I think that's about it for the notes over here. Yeah, so that's what we have over here. I have the door layout over here. The other thing is you're going to need 6 boats and 5 minecarts for this. So it's better if you bring along another rail just to place minecarts. So make sure you have that with you. 1 obsidian might not even be necessary for you. So the way you check that actually is I'm going to quickly build this part of the layout up here. I'll explain it in a second. Is we're going to build this. And first of all, actually, if you look at F3, if facing your door, it's either facing east or facing west, then you're not going to need an obsidian at all. Like that, an extra obsidian. So you'd need 1 less than it shows over here. Here it's going to say how many? It says you need 3 obsidian, you're actually going to need 2. If you're facing north or south, you're going to make this little setup that I made over here at where your door is, because it is a locationality. You're going to place a dust, a target block, and a note block. And then you're going to power it with like a redstone block up here. If all 3 of them go down, good news, you don't need an obsidian. You can get away with 2 obsidian. However, if this piston pushes out instead, and then this one powers, and it looks something like this, then you do need an obsidian, and you need it to place it right here. But that's for later, when we build the top. So first things first, I'm going to quickly go over the layout. The layout is pretty simple. I'm just going to go bottom, sides, top. The bottom layout is literally just a little double over here and then some storage. Now, the way I'm replacing this like instantly is I'm left-clicking and right-clicking at the same time. This is obviously creative mode only thing, but in survival mode, you just place a block behind it and then place it on that block. So the way the bottom layout works is we're going to push this up, push this in, push it up again, push this in, push it up again. Then the top is going to push it down. We're going to retract this one and zero-tick this piston out. We're going to push in a double, and then we're going to retract a double. So that's 3 blocks of storage done in bottom. The sides are incredibly simple. It's just a single double piston extender and storage. And it is achievable in 0.6 seconds, obviously. The way we do this is we just zero-tick this one out, push this in, and power this. And in the opening, we power, instant double, and then finish the retraction. Very, very simple. Very nice and very simple. And let me just build the rest of the sides. And then the top, we have a fold on the side. A downwards, like a fold over here, which can move down. A block up here, a piston up here, and storage over here. The storage can be anywhere, so if you want to build your own version of this door or whatever, you can put it over here. This is just because of the way we managed to get the inputs to work. The way it works is we power this, push this in, and then we power all 3 of these. And there's a reason for that, obviously. So move 1, we're going to retract this, push this in, and extend it. Move 2, we're going to retract and push this in. Move 3, we're going to retract this back one and zero-tick this one. And then move 4, we're going to move this one out and move all of these up. Pretty nice and pretty simple. Let me just grab some red concrete. So our input is going to be a block right here. You can put a lever, you can put a repeater into it, you can put a dust into it. Make sure that the dust has at least 6 signal strength. I think that's all you need. Let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like 5 in every single way that you can actually go. So, and then you're going to take, okay, so for the input line, you're just going to quickly put 2 blocks, slab going down like this. And you're going to put an instant repeater over here. And then you're going to take block, down, slab. And that is your input line. So we're going to do the sides first because they are important and they provide a couple of extra pulses to the top and bottom. So to start off, we're going to make this side and we're going to make the other side. They're not identical, so we're going to have to make both of them. I can't just tell you to copy it but mirror it. And also that's very hard. I found following tutorials where it's just like, oh yeah, mirror this. Very annoying. Anyways, we're going to put an instant repeater right here. And then we're going to place a piston right here and an activator rail or a powered rail and a redstone block. Now I am going to make the boat probably now because this is one of the entity things that we need to make. We'll make a couple of these things here a bit harder, so let me just also look at them. So we're going to need block, slab, block, right, like this. Slab, block, oh no, sorry, slab, 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 like that. We're also going to need a target block right here, I think, and a detector rail on it. And I should be correct about that. Yeah. And a note block under it. That's an input line for the back pistons. Because we're going to need to make some boat. The boat you can place, you need to place a chain. A sideways chain like this. It can technically be in any of these spaces. You can place it here, here, or here. I'm going to place it right under it because that's where it is also easier because the boats are a bit further out. Obviously, if you don't have space outside, if you're like limited by blocks, by other things on the edge, you probably want to place this slightly inwards over here. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to, I don't know the newest best way, because before in older versions you could just place a boat halfway in a slab, but you can't do that anymore. But first of all, you're going to place in a minecart. Or a minecart with furnace. I have furnace minecarts because Tele likes them, but I don't really care. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place some boats. We're going to place a boat, and then we're going to break these two blocks to allow the boat to fall onto the minecart, and we're going to repeat this 3 times. And the third time, actually, I won't be able to place blocks. I have to move it up by 1. Place it on the edge, like that. Now, you could also try moving the boats in a little bit. If you do, you're going to obviously need to replace this block that's over here. Now, these boats are an absolute mess, but I couldn't care less right now. I just want to make a tutorial on this door. There are some like fancy setups for making the boats really nice and clean. Although they are moving around way too much. I want to just have them like, oh my goodness. So you need to place the boats in, right? I'm going to just summon them from now on because it makes my life a bit easier doing the tutorial. But the way you would do them is either this. There is another way where you would place them with a dispenser onto probably, I forgot it was mangrove leaves, and fill them up with some water. Then you're going to grab a boat and you're going to place it into the dropper, and then you're going to power the dropper. This also works, and this places the boat like perfectly in the center, which is kind of akin to what I summoned. Then you're going to need to take the water out with a bucket out of this thing before it destroys anything else, and then you can destroy this and the boat is going to fall down perfectly. So for this you might need to remove a couple of blocks, so I'm going to quickly just summon these in. You're going to summon a minecart first, then 3 boats. Like that. Now we're going to need to place in a block over here. Clearly I can't place it, so how do we do this? Well, I'm going to place it on top, put a piston, and I'm going to just push it down. Now we can have our block over here. If, for example, you have a note block that is missing, you can also do that. The other one that we also need to place in is a sticky piston facing up. Put 2 pistons like this, and then power both of them. And then, if you place concrete powder right here, it should fall instantly. Like that. If you did that, you know you set up the boats correctly. The updater pistons for the 0-tick rep, this is a 0-tick repeater, is an updater like this and an updater to the side. We also are going to have another piston facing towards this updater, which is going to block it from updating move 3 to allow us to clock this out and have it power move 4. It makes our lives a bit easier. We're also going to place 2 blocks like this and a slab right here. This detector rail that we placed, that's going to redirect it so it doesn't power itself. And we're going to then place in 3 blocks like this. That's going to allow us to power these pistons when they're over here and when they're over here. So that's a shared input between those. Then we're going to take, we're going to make, which input line are we going to make? We're going to make this one over here. So I'm going to place in block and then 2 note blocks right here. This input line is going to be for the storage pistons and it's going to be powered by a piston with a redstone block on its face. It's going to be powered by a repeater and an observer right here. Yeah, just needed to make sure. And it's also going to be powered by a dust over here, which is actually being powered by another zero-tick rep. This zero-tick rep over here is being powered by an observer from a leaf. And this leaf is being powered by a butted piston with a log on its face. And the only other thing is we also need to place in a sticky piston with some kind of block and a normal piston right here. And this is just to make sure that at some point we power both of these, and then this can't fire out and it gets a normal observer pulse. That allows it to be single-edged, basically. This is going to power this down at 3 game ticks, and that's going to allow us to push these storage blocks in. From this, I'm also going to take out observer down, and that's going to power this piston over here. And we're also going to have a sticky piston with 2 sand, and that's another zero-tick rep over here. And we have this facing into a block. I think this side is the one with the block, yep. And then it goes up like this. And temporarily, while we don't have bottom, we're going to place in a sticky piston. This is going to be replaced, and you can place any block in front of it. We're going to replace this when we make bottom, but for now it is a sticky piston. Then we're going to have another sticky piston like this with another concrete powder, redstone block, and sticky piston facing down, as well as a piston facing sideways, which is going to update it because this is getting butted by this dust. This is going to do the back pistons for move 2, so we're going to take this up like this into here. And then for the last top back piston, we're going to take it out, up with a normal block, target over here, and a note block under that piston, and that's going to power the back pistons. Then this is move 2, and it also powers the zero-tick rep, which does the instant double. So that allows us to power the back pistons, then power the front pistons, and that's going to retract these blocks over here. Very, very nice system that we have over here. Okay, continuing on, we're going to this little reset thingy also is for move 3, because this happens at 6 game ticks on an opening. So that's actually going to power these back pistons again to retract these after they're over here. It retracts them. And then move 4, well, this one fires out again move 3. However, this updater is what we're going to power with an observer over here and into a block. And now it's going to stay on for long enough so that this updater is unable to fire move 3 and starts retracting move 4, which updates this one, which causes this line to fire out to stay on move 3 and 4 for a bit of bed to allow for last move to happen. So this is a bit of a complicated setup that we have over here that's going to allow for this to happen. Then we're also going to need an updater for this, which is a note block over here, I believe. I can't tell if that's correct. Yes, okay, I just needed to make sure. And we're also going to have a rail over here being powered by both this one, and that's going to be used for an updater at the top. So we're going to take another rail, and for now we're going to leave it where it is. This is used for this updater up here. The other thing is we're going to need an updater for this thingy down here, so we're going to take it down like this. The updater is being powered by when this one starts moving down, so it works perfectly fine for us. And I'm just trying to remember if there's anything I missed. Oh yeah, of course, the way to power this piston. This piston needs to get powered by a redstone block like this, because we need a way of powering this one so that it actually becomes an immovable object, because obviously extended pistons are immovable objects. And looking at this now, everything else should be done. So in theory, if I haven't missed anything out, I'm going to test I have this should get power. Ah, okay. I forgot one target block over here, so let me just quickly reset this. Oof. Yeah, the door can break very wildly, so that's why I said I'll test it first. If you do test it, you're going to have to reset a couple of things, such as this wood over here, these leaves, and this observer. Dust, and sand over here, which broke. The reason this broke is because I forgot this target block, so the target block is just going to repower this piston over here, this leaf, which just allows us to make sure that that it stays on in closing and it doesn't clock like it just did. So now, in theory, and I forgot part of the opening. Also, I'm going to break the bottom layout. It broke a little bit. I forgot move 4. Why is move 4 breaking? Let me look. Is everything working here? Did I forget this? No. This still exists. I think there might be something I'm missing over here. No. I'm confused as to why it's not working. That's part of not the... That's interesting. Just give me a second to figure out what the hell is going on. Oh, okay, one of the updaters is missing somewhere, I think. Or not powering properly. It's like one of these ones has a wrong updater. Because that didn't zero tick out and it should have. Probably be too lazy to cut this out as well, which just sucks. Sucks a lot, but too bad. I don't know what is going wrong, but and that's it. It's move 4 isn't working. Okay, there, yeah, there was this it was this note block right here. Just supposed to update this one over here. I forgot about it. So that's this side done. Now we're gonna have to do the other side, which is very, very similar but slightly different. So we still have the same sort of setup over here with an instant repeater, and that powers a downwards zero tick rep. And again, we're gonna have to have where is it? We're gonna have to have a boat under it right here. So I'm going to just go ahead and obviously you can place it here, here, and those are the only ones because this one needs to go up. So I'm just going to quickly summon them on it because that's an easier way of doing it for me. There we go. Obviously, you're going to do the same thing that you did on the other side to actually get this to work. We have the same setup over here. Block, which needs to be pushed down. Slab down here. Block, block, block. Slab, like that. We're going to have a normal block over here, I think. I don't think it's a target on this side. Yeah, it's a normal block over here. Still a detector rail. Dust going up on it. That's the input line for this one right here, which is being powered. Obviously, we have to redirect it so it doesn't power itself because that would cause some issues. Then let's do this one over here again. Same sort of setup as the other one. With 2 note blocks. Going like this. This time, instead of just having a block with a rail, we're also need a downward facing observer. It's going to be used for bottom, so it's not important right now, and there doesn't actually need to be anything on top. We're going to have a target block pushed into here, I think. Am I correct? Yes. Target block being pushed into here. Normal block over here. We're going to need a piston like this, and this is where the 2 upwards reps are. With this one being the redstone one right here. And now this time, instead of being a target block, it's a normal block, so we place a note block under it. We're going to need to also place a note block under this thingy, which we can't place over here, so we're going to have to zero tick it in. I would place it right here where this piston is, and we'll replace the piston later. Place a sticky piston and place a lever on the side of the piston and flick it. That should push the block in there instantly, so that way it doesn't move any of the boats or do any other wacky stuff that we don't want it to do. That is going to allow us to replace that over here. Now, obviously, we're going to need to have the two observers over here powering this, which is also going to power this. We have the same setup for an updater over here, and updater facing up, pushing it in. And we also going to need this, I think, here. Yeah, it's a second updater, like that. So on this side, it's a note block. On this side, it's another updater, and that's for a little thing that we do because of bottom. So let's just quickly power this one over here. We're still going to have the same wood being turned off setup into sticky piston with some glass and concrete powder. Dust right here, normal block over here, block with a redstone block on top, and a block right here, and an updater facing in this direction. Then we're going to take it up, over, and note block target. So again, we're powering the top piston over here. We also have this piston back here, which is getting butted over here. So that's going to get powered as well. I don't remember, yeah. So that's going to get powered over here. That's for top, so I'm going to remove this block just so it doesn't push top over onto the side. Although I do believe I need an obsidian back here. Obsidian. Because otherwise this could get pushed over to the side, and that would obviously break this double setup over here. Same thing, we're also going to need like that over here. I don't remember how we did the second observer. Completely forget. Oh, it's just right here, block right here. I forgot about that. Whoops. Let me think. Is there something else? Yeah, the rail over here. That's gonna get powered, and we also are going to need to power. Yeah, we're also going to need to repower this one. So, there we go. I think that's everything to do with side. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. On this side, we don't have to push a glass in and put in a movable object. On this side, we just do this, and we can power it like this. I think that's everything. Let's just test it. Don't. Oh yeah, put the solid blocks in. That's important. Yep, there we go. So that's the sides done. The sides now do the large chunk. Up next, we're going to do top, because without top, there's no bottom, because bottom is obviously relies on top pushing stuff down. I'm going to quickly set up my saved hotbars. Top I'm going to do in yellow, like in the other door, obviously, so I'm just keeping the same style. So I'm just setting up some saved hotbars. Just give me a second. There we go. Right. So the top layout, as I explained, we have this like whole double back here. We're going to place in a dust, target, and a note block over here. That's going to actually power some other stuff. That's going to power these three, and it's going to do lost move as well. The other thing is, whether you need an obsidian or not, remember what I said at the very start, whether you need to test whether this is an obsidian or not. And we're going to place a dust on top of there, a comparator, and then a sticky piston right here, and a composter or a cauldron with one thing inside of it. So I just used some pumpkin pie to make this so that this has a signal strength of 1. This means if I extend it, this has a signal strength of 1. And that can be also shown in F3. In F3 it says power 1 over right here. So yeah, that's gonna do part of that's gonna do the 3 game tick pulse that's over here, because it's butted. Obviously, it doesn't actually know that it's gonna unpower at 4 game ticks, so it's gonna stay extended until 6 game ticks. So now there's a couple of bed chains that we need to get. The other thing that we also need is we need an updater down here for some of these things. So one of the updaters, we need this one up here. This is going to update it very quickly after opening starts, it's going to turn this one off. And the way we do this is actually by having two downwards observers. And for this, I just recommend breaking some of these blocks because this is going to power a couple of times. Dust right here, target, and another note block. This is going to be extended and is going to retract, and that's going to update these to turn on. This is actually being powered, this one right here, and this one right down here is being butted by a dust right here. We also need 2 more blocks over here, and this needs to be blocked off. We also need 2 more blocks. We need a sticky piston here and a detector rail. This is going to just get redirected when the detector rail pops up over here. And that's just going to help out with a couple of things. We also need sticky piston and a downwards facing observer. And that's going to do the move 3, which is when this one right here extends and it needs to power. So that's move 3. That's how we handle that. Whoopsies. We're going to need to power this one from an observer, I believe, above it. Yep, an observer above it. And that's being powered by right here and some kind of glass or something on top. We're going to take a slab right here and another slab, I think, right here. I'm not sure if it's solid block or slab. It is a slab, yep. Because we don't want it to power the other thing. We're going to place this right here and a note block to instantly update this. We also have this observer coming in from, I don't even know, yeah, 2 pistons like this. And this is going to be powered by this one right here because the target is going to push into here. This just adds a lot of bed because this one has an updater on it. And this thing over here is going to push in another detector rail. So what I do is I place a normal rail, place a minecart, break the rail from under it, and place an activator, a detector rail, sorry. What that's going to do is when this rail is over here, it's going to power this dust over here. And that's going to allow it. Also, we're going to need a solid block, 2 solid blocks over here. So just saying that. We're also going to need the 0 tick for this and a couple of other things. Right. From this redstone block over here, we're going to take an output and we're going to make it power a sticky piston. It's also going to get powered instantly with no bed. So because this takes 3 game ticks as well. Right here. Oop, you can do that. Yeah. But it's going to retract with a bit of extra bed from this piston. And this is also going to be powering from, this detector rail has to be facing normally. Make sure to check that when you're done because this rail might break. We're also going to have a repeater, and this is also going to power another block like this, and that's going to have a redstone block on top. This is going to keep this one extended with a bit more bed. So this one stays on for a bit longer. Move 1. And this is going to retract instantly, obviously. And that's also going to power this one right here. There's also going to need to be an observer. Sorry about that. Right here. That's actually going to be the updater for this one right here. Because this one otherwise wouldn't get an update to power this block. What else? We need an observer going into here. Oh no, from the top one, sorry. We're going to need a note block, I believe. And then a block going up like this. I think that's correct, or are they the other way around? I think I might have gotten them. No, I was correct. Okay, sorry about that. And then this has the an upwards rep over here, and it has an observer with a piston facing down like this, and an observer right here. And this is just going to get powered by this piston, which I forgot to make face the other way because I'm an idiot. And the updater for this instant rep is actually going to be an observer coming up from here and a piston like this. That's going to keep it on for a bit longer. And the other 2 things is we need an observer right here and an observer right here. And that's just going to power this piston at the correct times. Because it needs to stay extended for a bit longer. Oh yeah, and the other thing is before you place this observer, place the block right here in so it doesn't power this one. Because otherwise that would break a lot of the other side. Now I'm just going to look at this. I think that's everything. Or am I missing something? I'm missing this one. This one needs to get powered somehow, so I'm missing it. That needs to be powered by an observer from well, technically from this. 2 tick, up, dust, yep, observer. Let's see. Oh, and that needs to be a repeater. Okay, there we go. Right. Think that should be everything on top. Oh, that needs to be a note. Oh, of course. There's an interesting bug with rails being moved, is that the dust doesn't unpower. So if I place a minecart on this, and I retract this quickly, the dust still thinks it's powered, but if I add a note block, it doesn't. The note block acts as an updater, so that's why we have to have a note block up there. Now I believe that's everything for top. I think so. So if I just power, yep, it puts 2 blocks in, and this is currently extended, but these pistons aren't extended. And if I open it up, yep, there we go. So there's the very nice. Very, very nice top. Most of it is just a long bed chain. All the other moves are mostly taken from this 0-tick rep over here for move 4, which is taken from this. A 0-tick rep right here with this observer over here for move 3. This one is just done with observers only because it doesn't need to get 0-ticked at any time. It just gets extended and retracts. And then this is just a little 0-tick taken from the side. And now for bottom. Bottom is done in green, so I'm going to quickly, or lime I mean, so I'm going to quickly set this up. And it has the weirdest input I think I've ever had in any door that I've ever made. Because the way we actually get the input to the bottom, because as you can see there's no input line or anything, is we use this 0-tick rep over here, and we have a rail. So I'm going to place a rail, minecart, break this, take a rail. So this is being powered, and it's powering a dust over here, which needs to be updated with a note block again, because, you know, we have to update it, otherwise it doesn't work. The issue is this one is clocked, so we actually have to retract this rail out of the way, and this, now you can remove this block that you placed over here temporarily, and you can place in 2 pistons, one right here and one right here, and yes, and a redstone block on its face. We're also going to have this go into, I believe, right here. Can't tell if I'm doing that. Yes, I am doing that. Okay. Just need to check. So, yeah, this dust is also going to power this one. I think that might need to be a target block. Yeah. Target block into here. And that's going to power this, and that's going to provide 1 game tick delay. And then 2 more game ticks after that. This one's going to turn on, so that's going to retract it after 3 game ticks before this clocks out for move 2. And then we're also going to have something coming out from here, a piston right here, and 3 observers like this powering back into here. We're also going to have a sticky piston facing up with a glass on its face. And that's going to update an observer to power this back storage piston at 2 game ticks. From here, we're also budding a sticky piston with a redstone block in its face. When this is extended, it's going to power this sticky piston with a redstone block in its face. And that's going to bud this sticky piston with a redstone block in its face. The updater on closing is going to be an observer from here. This observer doesn't power anything, but it sends an update to this piston. And on opening, this is going to retract after 1 game tick because of this leaf. This is going to be powering a normal piston, which is being powered by this, with a concrete powder or sand, and an observer over here. This, when extended, is going to allow us to power this one right here at 3 game ticks. Because the sand takes 2 game ticks before it starts falling after the piston retracts. That's why we take it off at 1 game tick. Now, if you're building this before 1.18.2, all you're going to do is you're going to destroy this redstone block. You're done. That's it. Now the door will work on 1.16 to 1.18. And then right here, 1.18.2 plus. Because Mojang fucked with some redstone stuff. Anyways, then we're going to place a sticky piston over here. And then we're going to place a slab. And we're going to place... you're going to need some kind of cobblestone wall or... Oops. Cobblestone wall or a fence. You're going to place that. And you're going to place a rail and a minecart. Then you're going to place a composter on top, 2 blocks, and you're going to place 2 pistons, and you're just going to push it in to the minecart. Composters have internal hitboxes, so the minecart stays floating inside of the composter. This allows us to place in a rail, which we can just push over using this piston, and that's going to keep this rail powered. This rail is going to stay powered, but when we push it over with this piston, this sticky piston over here, the minecart isn't going to move, but the rail is. This is gonna just have a target block over here. We're gonna have observer, I think, over here. Note block and note block, I believe. Did I do that correctly? Yes, I did. Okay, good. So we're gonna have 2 dust, and then an observer facing up and going up into here. We're gonna have a piston over here, and we're gonna have an observer and a sticky piston with a log and leaf over here. This obviously isn't being powered because an observer is not a solid object. So from here, we're actually gonna quickly do a little thing. We're gonna take 1, 2, and we're gonna power it into here. And we're also gonna have an observer facing up, and we're gonna power it. This needs to be a solid block. And then we can place a tripwire hook to redirect it so it powers this piston over here. This is going to butt a sticky piston with a glass block on it. And this block over here, which is being powered by this observer, is also going to power a rail over here. This rail is going to also get powered by this. And I think that's everything that we need the rail to power for now. Yep. Then we're going to need to add some updaters. I think 1, 2, I believe. I need to just check. Yes, 2 updaters. We're going to have dust on here, and we're going to have 3 observers into a solid block over here. And that's going to power the storage piston for closing when it's up here. Then we're going to have a note block right here, and an observer on its face, and a sticky piston facing this direction. This also has to be a solid block. This is what's going to power the double piston extender over here. This is actually being powered by itself. It just doesn't have an updater yet. We're going to need a solid block over here so that we can power this sticky piston over here, and some kind of slab. And we're going to need an updater, which was this thingy down here. This is going to update this one to turn off. We're also going to need one down here, and a note block right here. This is for later, and we're going to need to make the... I can't tell what is here. Oh, observer. Okay. And then we're going to need to make probably one of the goofiest things we have. An observer facing sideways, and then a sticky piston facing down with a redstone block on top. This piston is powered right now, butted, but it doesn't know it. If we power it like this, it will extend and it won't retract if we just give it an update. So if it does do that, you're going to need to break this redstone block and then place the redstone block back in. So that this one needs to be retracted, not knowing, quote-unquote, that it's actually still extended. So then I'm going to make a quick little thingy with observer and I think another note block over here. Or what was it? No, my bad. Sticky piston, observer on its face, slab, note block, observer, note block, observer, and then, no, like that, over here. And then we're going to need to place a repeater going into this 0 tick. Silence the note block by placing a glass on top of it, and yeah, and we're going to update that one from the input line over here. And that's going to power into a line over here, which goes 3, and then down, and then up again. I'm not sure if that's a... No, that could just be a normal block. Okay. Just don't want to mess that up by accident. That actually goes into this line over here. The updater can just be something like this. I think we can get away with 1 updater. Oh, no, we need 2. Ah, okay. My bad, I'm just being stupid. 2 updaters like this. And we're going to have a second one of these, which is actually being repowered by an observer. And the reason this works, actually, over here, is we're going to have a trap door. So there's a trap door noise. You can actually replace, I don't even remember, yeah, my trapdoor. You can actually replace this trapdoor with a hopper. A trapdoor just causes less lag, but it makes another noise. The reason this can work, what we have over here, because this powers 2 game ticks later, but we need it to power 3 game ticks later, is because the updaters are being reused. This exact updater is also powering this updater. So what ends up happening is when this one fires out, after, at some point, I think this is move 3, these ones are still resetting. These ones are still retracting back, resetting. And then while this one turns on 2 game ticks later, these ones can't fire out until 3 game ticks later, which is when the update happens, and this actually retracts back. So this one actually gets a long pulse a bit later. I can't tell if there's something I'm missing. I'm missing an immovable object right here. That is very important, actually. The movable object, what it does, doesn't allow this back piston to fire out. Move one instantly. Let me just check with Limatica if there's something else that I'm missing. Oh yeah, this should be extended right now. This should retract on the closing. And I think that's everything. I'm just looking at this. I think that's the entire door. So what you can do is you can place in your 3 blocks and the sticky piston up like this. And in theory now, if I... Yep, there we go. There's your amazing door. Wow. I did a great job on this tutorial, clearly. It's also partially an explanation because I did explain some of the stuff. You can fill in these blocks. Any blocks that I haven't filled in can be not solid. And in fact, most of the door blocks, the ones that go in, can be not solid. The only one that has to be solid is this block right here, which appears to be the block that's right here when it's closed. So I'm just going to color code it. This one block is the only door block that has to be solid because it's used to power an observer, to power the Move 3. Everything else, you can put in whatever pattern you like into it. And I'm just going to quickly actually show you the doors blocks that need to be solid are this block right here under the dust, this block right here under the dust, the blocks here and here and here and here, which need to power the side pistons, this block above the observer, this block above the observer, and this block with the dust going into it, and this block which gets powered by these 2 observers. Everything else can be both solid or semi-solid, which could be glass, it could be nothing, it could literally just be air, you could expose the redstone entirely. But yeah, that's the amazing door. I just built it over here on the side, so I hope you guys enjoyed this stupid tutorial that I don't know why I did, but I did it anyways, so I'm going to upload it because, you know, of course. It's probably going to be completely unedited because I'm too lazy to edit anything. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you whenever I upload something else.